I got a question for you, Giants fans. If both of these prospects are on the board when number 7 comes rolling along, and let's say all the edge rushers are gone, no Kayvon Thibodeau, no Trayvon Walker, no Aiden Hutchinson, and you got Sauce Gardner and Kyle Hamilton staring you in the face at pick number 7, let me know who you would pick. Because Todd McShay, he picked one of these guys with that number 7 pick. So type SG for Sauce Gardner, or if you think Kyle Hamilton's the guy, go down and type KH. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to touch on the latest Todd McShay 2-round mock draft. But first, I want to remind you guys to subscribe for free daily videos around the latest New York Giants news, rumors, and we're going to be going live. Yes, live on this channel's for pick 5 and number 7 of the 2022 NFL Draft. So lock us in, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. But in today's show, we're going to touch on the latest Todd McShay 2-round mock draft. And I thought he made 2 interesting picks for the New York Giants, considering what players were still on the board. So we're going to run through that. We'll touch on the second-round pick, and that's a playmaking wide receiver. You can get your guesses in the comment section of who that is. But first, let's see how he had the first round playing out before the Giants were on the clock at pick number 5. He had Aiden Hutchinson going to the Jaguars. I think you can almost write that one in Sharpie right now because I think that's going to happen. Then Trayvon Walker, the edge rusher out of Georgia, going number 2 to the Detroit Lions. Then Kayvon Thibodeau going number 3 to the Houston Texans. And then my wide receiver 1, Garrett Wilson, going number 4 to the New York Jets. So you can pick between Ikem Ekwonu or Evan Neal. And that's the 2 guys I would choose between. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad at either one. But Todd McShay, he must have been listening to the show because he picked my number 1 offensive tackle in this draft at pick number 5. And that's Ikem Ekwonu out of NC State. He's my number 1 tackle, slightly over Evan Neal. You guys can embrace debate in the comment section. I know we got some Neal guys. I know we got some Icky guys. I like Icky a little more. I think he translates a little better to the right side at the right tackle spot. He's just a mean road paver. When this guy gets his hands on you, he will finish you in the dirt. He is an aggressive and mauler in the run game. I think he's got a bit more of a nasty spell than a guy like Evan Neal. And I think if Ikem can't figure it out at right tackle, he can go to right guard because that's a position he can play at in the NFL level. He's the best run blocker in the draft, in my opinion. That's why I want him. I want my right tackle to be a nasty run blocker. Him and Andrew Thomas as your bookend tackles for the next 10 to 12 years, sign me up, because whether it's Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, or their replacements, they will be thanking the GM and Joe Schoen for making those picks. Todd McShay, he expanded his thoughts on why the Giants should draft Ikem Ekwonu at this spot, and he said new general manager Joe Schoen would be off to a really good start to his tenure if he gets this lucky. A run on pass rushers to begin this draft leaves Ekwonu for the Giants at number 5 overall. He brings versatility, power, length, and quickness, and he'd be opposite of Andrew Thomas to form a solid duo to keep NFC pass rushers in check. And it's about damn time the Giants go out and fix this offensive line. I wish there was a guard prospect or someone that they could take at pick number 7 and take 2 offensive linemen. I don't think that's going to happen. But if you can get Ikem Ekwonu at pick number 5, I might take my shirt off live when we're live on Giants Now, because that's how excited I will be. And this is what the projected offensive line might look like if they take Ikem Ekwonu. You'd have Andrew Thomas at left tackle. I guess Max Garcia at left guard. Maybe it's Shane Lemieux. Hopefully it's a rookie. Then you got John Feliciano at center. I think they also need to draft a center. I don't think Feliciano is a long-term option. I think he's more of a stopgap option, pretty much because he's only on a 1-year deal, and he hasn't proven to be a reliable lineman in the NFL. Mark Glowinski, he's your right guard, and you got Ikem Ekwonu at your right tackle. Thomas, Glowinski, and Ekwonu, 3 good offensive linemen. But what's your confidence in this Giants offensive line? If these were the 5 guys to be the week 1 starters, how would you feel? Scale your confidence, 1 to 10. 1 being, I'm not confident at all. I don't think this group's going to do very well. Or 10 being, I'm extremely confident. This is the best O-line the Giants have had since the 2011 or 2007 Super Bowl runs. Get in the comments, be active, and let me know. Pick number 6 in Todd McShay's mock draft was Kenny Pickett, going to the Carolina Panthers, the quarterback out of Pitt. And that makes sense. They need a quarterback. You can't roll with Sam Darnold again. So you got Hutchinson, Walker, Thibodeau, Wilson, Giants take Ekwonu and Kenny Pickett at number 6. So then the Giants are on the clock again. Get in the comments section and let me know who you would pick at number 7 in this situation. There's a lot of different ways you could go. Maybe you want to go with a guy like Evan Neal and move him to right guard. Maybe you want Kyle Hamilton. Maybe you want Sauce Gardner. Maybe you want Jermaine Johnson, the pass rusher out of Florida State. But before I give you what he had to say, make sure you're subscribed to Chat Sports, the mothership. The guys that employ us and power Giants now. Go subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. They've got free daily videos every single day, multiple times a day, and we are going to be going live for every single pick of the NFL draft. I can tell you, we're going to be throwing down shots. We're going to be drinking beers. It's going to be getting crazy. Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, they could never. So subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. And with the 7th pick, Todd McShay, he has Kyle Hamilton going to the New York Football Giants over a guy like Sauce Gardner. We'll break that down in a second. Kyle Hamilton, he's the unanimous number 1 safety in this class. Some people have him as the best player in this draft. High praise for Kyle Hamilton. Kind of didn't run as fast as we wanted at the NFL Combine, but if you saw the video, he ran this way, then he ran this way, and then he ran this way. He ran about 47 yards in his 40-yard dash, so to run a 4.59, 47-yard dash, that's impressive. The Giants, they need a safety. They lost Logan Ryan. They don't have Jabril Peppers. The only 2 guys on the roster, Xavier McKinney and Julian Love. And an Xavier McKinney and Kyle Hamilton duo for the next 10 years for the New York Football Giants would be one of the best safety tandems in the National Football League. That would be a great back into your defense that Wink Martindale could use in a variety of ways, because Kyle Hamilton was used in a variety of ways at Notre Dame. He played single high. He got down on the box. He was on the line of scrimmage. He played a little slot corner. 140 tackles in 31 career games, 8 interceptions, 16 pass breakups, 7.5 tackles for loss. Kyle Hamilton is a do-it-all safety. He can do it all. He can play free. He can play strong. He can play box linebacker. He can get on the edge and attack the passer. Todd McShay, he expanded his thoughts on Kyle Hamilton and said, this is why the Giants should draft him. A Giants depth chart at safety is light, and adding someone with Hamilton's size, range, and ball skills to the back end could change the way offenses game plan for you, New York. Logan Ryan was released, and pairing Hamilton with McKinney, who had 5 picks and 10 pass breakups last season, would be an excellent last line of defense. And I couldn't agree more. When you compare 2 young studs like McKinney and a guy like Kyle Hamilton, you wouldn't have to address the safety position anymore. But I thought it was interesting that he picked Kyle Hamilton over Sauce Gardner. I think the Giants 100% need another safety. But you have to, the way I thought about it, and I think you guys are all thinking about it in the comment section right now, what has Joe Schoen said time and time again throughout the draft process and since he's been hired as their GM? He's the best player available guy. And that might be Kyle Hamilton. He may have Kyle Hamilton number 1 on his board. We don't know that. But he also believes in positional value. And that means positionally value-wise, cornerback is higher than safety. I think if both were on the board, I do think the Giants would take Kyle Hamilton over Sauce Gardner. Despite the fact that James Bradberry most likely is not going to be on this roster next year. He's probably going to be traded. I doubt he gets cut, but whatever way the transaction happens, he won't be on the roster next year, and you're going to have to fill that need. But I think you could find just as good of a corner in the second round compared to just as good of a safety in the second round. Kyle Hamilton would be a home run pick at number 7 for the New York Giants, but definitely something interesting that I thought McShay talked about and did in his mock draft. If you want to wear the same hat, maybe that Ikem Ekwonu or Kyle Hamilton or Sauce Gardner is going to be wearing when Roger Goodell calls their name on NFL Draft Night, you can do it with our proud sponsors of today's show, Fanatics. You just got to go to chatsports.com/Giants Draft Hat. I will put that in the comments and the description of this video. They got all different types of styles. They got the dad curve brim. They got the fresh flat brim. Whatever your style is, they've got a draft hat for you. So go and shop chatsports.com/Giants Draft Hat. On to round 2. And these are guys that were on the board at pick number 36 where the Giants were picking. Skyy Moore, the wide receiver, I like him a lot. Honestly, my second round, number 1 safety, Jalen Petrie out of Baylor. I think he's Tyrann Mathieu 2.0. Maybe you want the sideline to sideline linebacker out of Georgia, Quay Walker. Or maybe you want a quarterback and you want Matt Corral, or a corner like Kyer Elam, Logan Hall, the defensive lineman out of U of H. Then you got George Pickens, the wide receiver, coming off an ACL injury that he tore last spring. Didn't play that much this year, but he's a big play receiver that could be a number one wide receiver once he reaches his full potential. Then you got the free safety, the 6'2", 4'3", Lewis Seen. He's a heavy hitter. Then you got another corner, Roger McCreary. Or maybe you want to take a chance on David Ajabu, who tore his Achilles tendon at his pro day. These are all guys that were on the board and went right after pick number 36. But if these were the guys on the board, who would you pick if you were sitting in the seat of Joe Schoen? Do you want a wide receiver? Do you want a corner? Do you want a safety? Do you want the next quarterback? Or do you want an inside linebacker? The Giants, they have to hit at pick number 36 if they want to be a contender or to build a better team. 36, you can get a big-time playmaker. You can get great players in the second round. Deebo Samuel. A lot of good players go in the second round. And Todd McShay, he had Skyy Moore, the wide receiver out of Western Michigan, going to the Giants at pick number 36. And Moore, he's been a pre-draft riser. According to Tom Downey, our Chat Sports draft expert here, he doesn't even believe that he's going to make it to round 2. He had a great last season at Western Michigan. He impressed at the Combine. This is someone that is flying up draft boards, and he would be a great fit in the Giants offense. I think he's a slot receiver at the next level, but you can also put him on the outside, and he'll run right by you if there's not any safety help. He is really a do-it-all receiver. He can do it in the slot. He can do it on the outside, and when he has the ball in his hands, he is a playmaker that's hard to tackle. Last year, his production, that's why he's going at the top end of the draft. 95 grabs, almost 1,300 yards, almost 14 yards per catch, and 10 tutties. Skyy Moore is a good receiver. I'm just not sure I would go this route. And I'm not saying it's the wrong route, but I do have to agree that you got to go best player available in this situation, because 5 years from now, when we go back and look at the 2022 NFL draft, nobody's going to give a damn at what the Giants needed at that spot. They're going to look back and say, oh, wait, the Giants, they passed on David Ajabo, and he's now a perennial all-pro player? No, you take the best player every single time, because the turnover in the National Football League is crazy, and your needs this year aren't going to be your needs next year, even if you take the best player available. But name a wide receiver you want the Giants to draft. Is it Jahan Dotson? Do you want him to take Garrett Wilson at pick number 5? Maybe Chris Olave at number 7. Maybe there's another guy that you want him to take. There's a lot of good receivers in this draft. I think this is one of the best wide receiver classes we're going to see. This is a lot of prospects in this draft. So let me know a wide receiver you want the Giants to draft at pick number 36 or later on in the NFL draft. Skyy Moore kind of reminds me of Golden Tate. And not Giants Golden Tate. I'm talking about Seattle Seahawks Golden Tate. He's not a true number 1, but he's a damn good number 2, and he's a great number 3. This is someone that can win on the outside. He can win in the slot. He can come on the jet sweeps and get the ball and make people miss. He is a jitterbug with the ball. He makes people miss all the times, and he's a hard tackle. He's not some small guy. He's 5'11", 200 pounds. He is built rock solid, and I think you would succeed in a Brian Daboll offense. But I want you guys to grade this mock draft by Todd McShay. You got Ikem Ekwonu at number 5. You got Kyle Hamilton at number 7. I think that's an A+ first round. I'd give the Skyy Moore pick a solid B, maybe a B+. I think more so a B. That's where I would lean. But grade the mock draft in total for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Everyone that answers that question, I will give you a shout out on the next New York Giants. Now, I appreciate everyone that's made today's Giants video a part of your day, and like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on the next Giants Now.